Well, hi guys, welcome. Welcome to the 25th Annual Innovative Idea Competition. We are super excited to see you all here, and thanks for coming out. It's a cold day, so we appreciate you coming out to check this out in person. We're so excited to see everybody. I'm Michelle Histand. I'm the new Managing Director of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Institute here at Temple, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys tonight to see what we have. So this is one of many programs that we run. I will let you know that there are other programs happening that you should check out on our website, and we'll talk more about those before the night wraps up. And I also want to give a shout out to our Entrepreneurial Student Association, who's here tonight too, another thing that you can get involved in. But tonight, it's all about the Innovative Idea Competition. So we're really excited to have 10 finalists representing 6 different schools presenting tonight. So we're going to go first through our undergrad track, and then we'll go through our upper track, which is comprised of alumni and graduate students, sometimes faculty and staff, but not tonight. So we have those 2 tracks presenting, and then you'll have some time to go out and visit all of the amazing folks outside, which I think a lot of you have already visited and had some donuts and pizza. We'll also hear a little bit from them. So they are entrepreneurs who are killing it. So we're going to have them talk a little about their businesses too. So that's kind of the run of show for tonight and what you can expect. So we have, as I said, 10 finalists representing 6 different schools. So we have representation from the College of Science and Technology, from the College of Liberal Arts, from Tyler, from Klein, from STHM, which is Sports, Tourism, and Hospitality Management, and also from Fox. So we're really excited. And also want to just give a shout out to the deans and faculty and staff from all of those schools who really support their students in being able to do this every year. And we can't wait to hear what they have. So that's all I have for now. I want to, one more thing, thank our amazing judges. So a huge thanks to Natasha, Carl, and Nick, and also special thanks to the folks presenting our Global Innovation Award, Jeffrey and Amy. And we're going to get started. So I'm going to turn it over to Greg Fegley, who makes all of this happen. Greg is the Director of Accelerator Programs here. Let's do it. Come on down.
All right, thank you. So yeah, I know Michelle's already thanked the judges, but I want to just start off by saying that we could not run this kind of program, and we do it every year, and we're always amazed at the volunteers that we get to support our programs. And it really all starts off with our reviewers. We had over 100 reviewers this year who volunteered their time, their experience, and it isn't just in reviewing the ideas and scoring them, but it's also in providing really meaningful feedback to the teams that help them push their ideas forward. So thank you to the reviewers. Next. And then also, after the finalists are selected, we do a little extra step, which is we bring them all in and we provide them an extra pitch coaching opportunity. And we have an awesome group of pitch coaches. These people sit and meet with each team and spend hours of time over a course of 2 days to provide detailed feedback, not just on the idea, but also on their pitching. They're being able to stand up and present their slides, how effective they are at getting their message across. And so a big thank you to all of our pitch coaches as well. And as Michelle already mentioned, our judges tonight, we have with us Carl Kraus. Carl is the interim director of the Temple SBDC, which is a small business development center, and Carl's been a member helping, supporting in the IEI for many, many years. So thank you, Carl. And next up is Natasha Graves. Natasha is a Fox alum, and also she's an entrepreneur who's come through the IEI programs. So she launched her venture, Vacayability, a few years ago, participated in our programs, won some funding from programs. We're very proud of her and the progress she's made, and we think it's awesome that she can come back and join us tonight to now be a judge. And then last but certainly not least is Nick Valeriano, also a Fox alum. Nick is a board member of Mid-Atlantic Diamond Ventures, but he's also a member of Robin Hood Ventures. And so he's had lots of experience hearing people pitching their ideas as well. So thank you to our 3 judges. We really appreciate you taking that time to come here today. You have the toughest jobs. All right. I want to remind everybody that, again, it takes a village to make programs like this work. So if you're interested, either people here in person or people on our streaming audience, if you're interested in getting involved in helping us out here at the IEI and helping our owlpreneurs, I ask that you take out your phones, scan the QR code, and sign up to be a reviewer or a mentor. We'd love to have you participating and giving back to the programs. So I encourage you all to do that as well. All right. Last, before we get started with the presentations, is one of the prizes we're giving out tonight is the Crowd Favorite Award. And this is an award that you decide, not our judges, not any of our special guest judges for some of the other special awards, but you, the audience, get to vote for the idea that you think is the best tonight. And so we encourage you, and anybody here in person, anybody again on our live stream on YouTube, get out your phone, scan the code. You'll be able to vote for your favorite team. You can give them feedback on their ideas and actually feedback to any of the teams on their ideas. And you can also let us know whether or not you enjoyed the program at the end. So remember, yorm.com, idea 2022. So that brings us to the best part of the show here, which is the presentations. That's why you're really here. So we're going to start off with the undergraduate track, and these are the 5 teams that will be kicking it off. So first up is Arts Ability, and Arts Ability is going to be presented by Maya McEwen, right? And so I'll have her come out and give her pitch, and then we're going to follow it up right afterwards with some questions from our judges. So Maya, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Maya McEwen, and I am the co-founder and secretary of Arts Ability. Arts Ability is a nonprofit that engages with women with disabilities, enables them to learn life and social skills through the arts, and empowers them to utilize those skills in the real world. We all remember in high school when students with disabilities were segregated from the student populations and unable to learn social and life skills. This was especially true for female-identifying students because the research that informs these programs are largely focused on men and their needs. We see this problem manifest later in post-high school programs such as community colleges, group homes, and day programs. These programs also exclude the needs of women and are provide short-term solutions to long-term issues. They also can be very costly for the families and cause lots of unnecessary stress with long applications. This is where we innovate. Our program is a bi-weekly craft session program where we teach a life skill or social skill for that week. Then we have a monthly program to expand upon that skill and build and maintain friendships among the women. Obviously, our main audience is the women with disabilities themselves who are located in Delaware County and have been graduated from high school. But we also want to include their families as they are a huge part of their support system. We want to ensure their support system are a large part of this to fight the isolation they feel. Now, as a new nonprofit, we face several issues because we are new to the community and we are dealing with a vulnerable population. One of the first issues is we have to build trust within the community. The best way for us to do this is highlight the participants' testimonies and grow organically through word of mouth. We also obviously face funding issues as we are also new and have to build the trust before we get to the funding. So we will focus on community-based grants as well as fundraisers such as art sales and bake sales with the creations from the women. Now, I'm here at the Innovative Idea Competition in hopes that you will support us in our mission. But I also want you to understand where your support goes. The majority of your support will be making sure that the venues and outings are accessible to the women, and the rest of your support will go towards administrative costs and ensuring that we have a high-quality program for the women. I would like to thank you for your time today, and I'm ready for questions.
All right, judges, who'd like to kick off?
Well, thank you for your presentation. My first question is, what made you come up with this idea?
So my co-founders and I actually have family members with disabilities, and we noticed that when they graduated high school, they were sort of left out in the cold as they were in high school. And we wanted to make sure that, and this was specifically a problem among women because, again, these programs were not geared towards them. So we wanted to make sure that we were filling the gap in some way for our community. And so we just started doing sessions since October, and we actually have an outing this Saturday at our local high school. Yeah.
Sorry, can you give the example of the session that you had with one of the people in your community?
Yeah, so one of our biweekly craft sessions was actually a baking session because the arts can be culinary arts, they can be painting, they can be music and dancing, anything of that nature. And we created these Santa cups. The women created these Santa cups, and we're actually going to sell them at our outing, which is a big craft fair at the local high school, so they can also learn entrepreneurial skills on top of the creations that they made and connecting with one another.
Wonderful presentation. You started off talking about the effects of the pandemic and isolation and things like that. Are you aware of any studies that show that increasing social opportunities, socialization opportunities, and arts in particular can contribute towards battling that type of issue?
Yes, so a large part of the reason why we chose the arts specifically is not only because our co-founders are experienced in the arts, but also because there is a therapeutic element of art. And we wanted to, while we aren't art therapists, we wanted to provide some element of the art therapy as we were providing the sessions.
All right, well, thank you, Maya. Great presentation, and good luck to Arts Ability. So next up in the undergraduate track is Career Experience, and it's going to be presented by Whitney Constable from STHM.
Hello everyone, my name is Whitney Constable and I am the founder of Career Experience, where we will be redefining career searching. A little bit about me is that I worked after school working a part-time job. Due to this often included weekends, so my time to get experience was extremely limited. Due to the lack of experience, I ended up going to college undecided. I had 3 different majors that I went through. I accrued $15,000 in debt going through those majors, and I also am spending an extra year at college. I believe career experience is a solution to that, and I know I'm not the only one with this issue. Career Experience is a virtual reality simulation of a job utilizing artificial intelligence instructors. It will look like a student picking a career they would like to do, and then they will be broken up into categories of common skills and day of simulations, all under artificial intelligence instructors. Video. Sorry. So the video shown is basically showing that this technology does exist. So as you can see, it shows what it could possibly look like. This is a company that only focuses on safety hazards, but the technology that I would like to utilize for career experience does exist. The 5 careers offered would be teaching, private in the Army, front desk agent, registered nurse, and personal injury lawyer. These were the 5 careers chosen because these are the careers that students reported being the most interested in, as well as the fact that they're timeless careers and contain many different skill sets to be able to be tested. So it will be used by a university for their undecided program. Basically, what will happen is the university will purchase it for their undeclared major office, and students that are interested will be able to go and test it out. And this can appeal to the target market of undecided students. Furthermore, I would like to incorporate DLCs, which are downloadable content. Let's say the university specializes in technology, for example. Then they specialize in technology, for example. Then they can fund a DLC to be made, in which case they will be able to show off that aspect to undecided students and possibly bring them into a new interest that they never knew that they had. I am applying for the Digital Innovation Award because I am using technology to be able to break through a topic that has very limited solutions through new age technology. I'm using virtual reality simulations, I'm using artificial intelligence instructors, and I'm also using DLC that would be containing careers. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Whitney. Judges?
You mentioned that colleges would likely pay for this. Could you foresee any other potential customers that you would sell this to?
Yes, actually. So I could see businesses often using it for career fairs, for example. I think that would be a very great target market. I mentioned the Army, and I feel like the Army, especially the ROTC program, could also be able to purchase and advertise it that way. So I do see potential other buyers that would be interested.
Why did you choose the college market versus something like the high school market?
So the reason I ended up going for the college market is because high school doesn't have a lot of extra funding money, and that was the biggest issue. I wanted it to be for students, this idea, so that's why I tried not to focus on businesses too much. But ultimately, high schools would not be able to probably fund the expense that virtual reality is, and colleges and universities most likely will be able to.
In addition to the education market, are there applications, do you see applications in other areas? You talked about the military, but other areas such as workforce development?
Yeah, I think this would be a great idea for trade school as well. Like, for example, hairdressers or maybe other careers that necessarily they don't want to go into universities for. I think that trades would also be a very great opportunity, especially something like construction. I think that that's another avenue that could be very possible for to be able to advertise.
As a former undecided student who spent 2 extra years in college, thanks for keeping an eye out for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, is that it? All right, very good. Thank you, Whitney.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is from Fox School as well, and his name is Cole Roberts, and he'll be presenting Price Stripe.
Hello, my name is Cole Roberts, and I will be presenting Price Stripe today. Before I get into my products, I want to introduce you to Judy. Judy is a kind, elderly worker who works at Rite Aid. She is loyal to her company, and basically every customer that walks in the store knows her. Judy was my shift supervisor. Because of our store's rebranding process, they were changing the prices of many items around the store. This was a lot of extra work added onto our tasks, and Judy, more often than not, was the one who took over this workload. This job tired her out as she does not have the best legs because of her age. I thought if there was a way to automate price tags, Judy would not have to suffer through this. In fact, price tags pose many problems to stores. They increase pricing errors. They increase store costs, they reduce store efficiency, and they add to global pollution. If there was a device that could automate these price tags, it would not only solve all of these problems, but it will also add innovative features to the shelves. Shelves could now have accessibility features added to them, scannable QR codes added to them, and video advertisements. What is Price Stripe? Price Stripe is a programmable screen that will fit the dimensions of shelving. It will fit where the traditional price tags lay, and stores will be able to use them to instantly update their price and sale changes. This is what's currently on the market. On the right, you've probably seen these electronic price tags at your local Kohl's. While they do solve the issues, they don't solve all the issues because they add to global pollution through batteries. The solution on the left is a direct competitor of mine. They have one major flaw though. This is what it looks like when you wire them up. If you were to put this up in your store, if you wanted to switch the shelves around, you'd have to deal with that complicated wire mess. It's just not viable for stores to take on, and it's also a fire hazard. The Price Stripe solution wants to put one bracket across the back of the shelf, highlighted in gold, one wire on the bottom of the shelf, and the price stripe on the front of the shelf, and this will allow shelves to be moved around because you could just move the shelf and just plug it into the bracket. This is the price stripe versus the competition. Not only will we allow an easy installation and wire management, but we also have a simpler user interface and a design that will fit on any shelf. It matches up pretty well to the competitors. Because this is still an idea, I want to address what I need to do to accomplish my goal. I need to expand my team. It's basically just me right now, and I need engineers and more people that could help me. I need to garner prototype funding so I can get a prototype onto the market. I need to expand my skills. I need to talk to retailers and see their opinions on the product. And I need to start the prototype process. Thank you for listening to my pitch. You can contact us at pricestripe.com, or you could email me at cole.roberts@pricestripe.com, or follow our Instagram. Thank you.
Good job, Cole.
Thank you for the presentation. One of the things that I think about is the backlash when it comes to like self-checkouts.
Yeah.
And you said that this would be more cost-effective, eliminate the need for some employees. So what would you say to that potential backlash?
Well, it's that potential backlash, I would say. I mean, yes, some jobs are probably going to be lost, and that's an effect to this, but there are honestly more jobs around the store than just changing the price tags. Like, when I worked at Rite Aid, changing the sales prices was just 1 day a week, and you still need employees to stock the shelves, to work the cash register. I don't think it's going to have that big of an impact on jobs.
Could you were you able to estimate about how much, you mentioned it take about a day, so a day's work of one person, multiple people, like were you able to estimate the cost savings for each store?
I have not personally gone through and estimated that, but I'm sure that the price stripe will help in that.
So my understanding is that, in the comparison with the coal signs, for instance, that the difference there is primarily battery versus wired power, basically.
Well, it's that, and those screens, if I flip back to them, they're not really as interactive as the solution on the right or on the left is kind of like what I'm going for. It's a bar that you can put the price tags on. That will allow you to put video advertisements on there too, which that brings you into the advertising industry now, which brings in more money. It only shows the price and the products. And also, people are looking to make their stores look futuristic. That does not look that futuristic.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Cole. Yes, we're going to take a minute here to change out for the next presenter. All right, so coming up again in the undergraduate track is The Artist's Bag by Kara, presented by Kara Anstein.
Hi guys, my name is Kara Anstein. I am a student at Tyler School of Art, and I'm an artist and an art student, obviously. Oh gosh. Okay, so let me just say that artists have a lot of tiny things and stuff everywhere. So it's a lot of the time, your backpack gets very messy very easily. For example, these are just a few of the things that I carry around daily with me, and from running from class to class, that stuff gets disorganized within hours. That's why I created a backpack made for artists on the go. It's a traditional style backpack with an added expandable compartment so that you can fit all of your supplies, no matter how many. And the main compartment is divided into 2 sections so that you can keep your personal items away from all of your supplies to make sure that nothing gets messy, nothing gets wet or disorganized. And And then here are our ideas for the pouches. So there's 2 styles. There's cases and then bags. They come in 2 sizes, a small and a large. They can come in vinyl or canvas, and both have customizable labels so that you can easily find them in your backpacks. Also, the bag and all of the pouches are completely washable and extremely durable. We also hope to create a range of pouches that are specific for certain materials, depending on what you're using. For example, this one is designed for charcoal or pastels, which are very fragile and easy to break. So that's why we created a foam-lined case to keep all of them nice and safe. While the market looks really saturated, let's be honest, the majority of the bags are created for more traditional artists, like people that paint or draw. So they mainly just fit a sketchbook and a couple pencils, while we focus on all arts, no matter what type of stuff that you need to carry around. For example, this is a portfolio bag. That's what all Tyler students are given in their first year. And at least from my experience and the people that I've talked to, many of them have never, if not maybe a couple times, have used that bag. Personally, if I had the artist bag, I would very quickly use that in my daily practice. So the backpack by itself will be sold for $60, and then we'll have an entry-level bundle, which includes 2 of the pouches along with the backpack for $75. And then once you have the backpack, there's always the option to go back and buy more pouches depending on what you need it for, and those will be 10. Yeah, so altogether, this is the artist bag. We are focusing on keeping stuff organized and clean so that artists can get back to creating. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara.
My first question was, like, are the pouches Velcroed inside, or is it like kind of modular where you can just like, all right, this one goes here, that kind of thing?
They're more modular, and we hope to make them like the corners like lined with some type of wire or heavy duty stuff like that, so that they keep their shape.
I understand your problem. My wife is taking art classes now and has 3 or 4 suitcases that she carts around to get to class. How does it, you presented your competitive solution as being a portfolio bag, but how does it compare to some of the other solutions that are out there, such as a regular backpack with pouches that you would just put into the backpack? What's the difference here?
Well, I mean, there is the option of the normal backpack, but at least me, it's hard to find like the cases that go with the pouch, that go into the backpack, or that will fit your supplies well. Also, again, the majority of the backpacks are very flat. Like, other than the portfolio, there are backpacks and messenger bags. They're just very flat and not really offering enough space for the supplies.
Thank you for the presentation. My first question is, you had some of the information about revenue and the different types of costs, but what do you have like a range or an estimate of what it would take to actually produce the bag versus like what you'd sell it for?
No, not yet. Our main focus is we plan on partnering with some established backpack company already, so we're mainly going to be spending money within creating the pouches and finding the fabrics and stuff like that to make sure that it's completely washable and durable.
Understandable. Are there any challenges that you think might come across in either producing the bag or getting the word out about the bag?
I think the main thing is finding the right avenue for marketing it and making sure that it is getting to the art students and artists that will use it. Thanks.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Kara.
Thank you.
Our last presenter for the undergraduate track is going to be James Owen. also from the School of Art and Architecture, Tyler School.
Hey everybody, my name is James Owen and I'm the founder of VR Coach. Everybody knows if you want to be good at something, practice makes perfect. But today, I'm talking about athletes, specifically at the club level. Club athletes get about 3 hours a week to practice. Being a club athlete myself, among thousands of other college and high school athletes know, 3 hours is simply not enough time. But VR Coach offers an additional way for players and coaches to practice. It offers coaches and players to practice on their own time, making practice more accessible, making practice off the field or ice more effective, ultimately helping your team win. Like I said before, practice makes perfect. With club athletes' limited scheduling, VR Coach is the best way to practice because VR Coach puts the player's head back in the game, where players can focus and reflect upon mental aspects of the game. Skills like positioning, angles, awareness, tactics, minor skills that make good players great. How do we capture this point of view? Helmets, special helmets. Helmets that are already being manufactured by a company called Orbi Prime. Orbi Prime is making helmets with cameras on all sides of the helmet, capturing a 360 scene. These videos are then sent to a server where the videos are stitched together, being sent to broadcasters and sports fans. Nothing accommodating players and improvement. That is where VR Coach comes in. VR Coach is a software, an app, a subscription service, the middleman between hardware and athletes. VR Coach is to be downloaded on your mobile, desktop, or VR headset. Your coach will register your team with VR Coach. Once registered, the coach will be given a code. The coach will share the code with the rest of the team. Players sign up, enter the code, and have access to their videos and their teammates' videos where they can constantly improve no matter where they are. As for future endeavors, I want to take VR Coach into the sports viewing world, revolutionizing the way we all watch sports. But today, VR Coach is bringing practice to you. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Judges?
Thank you for the presentation. The Orbi Prime, how much do those helmets cost and who would be paying for it if you have the software? Would you be providing it or partnering with them in any way, or would the teams have to pay out of pocket and absorb the costs for that?
I will be partnering with Orbi Prime. I imagine I will help distribute 30 helmets at once to teams. As for cost, I've done a lot of research on Orbi Prime, and I have not found them use this in commercial use. So I'm trying to hop on their boat, being the software, taking advantage of their hardware. They do have sunglasses with cameras in that go for $280, but helmets are a little more expensive, so I'm sure it'll be around there, maybe a little more. But teams would have to buy, but since they're buying in wholesale, 30 players to a team, I'm sure there could be some leeway with bringing some price down.
Then my second question is, why did you choose club level, and do the rules that go along with like club level versus like NCAA, like D1, do they make a difference in your product at all?
I'm sure. The reason why I'm starting at club level is because I feel like it's smaller, more niche, and also they don't get to practice as much. The main problem is not practicing. D1 athletes, they're probably watching film right now. We don't, I got practice tonight and I'm here instead, But rules with the ACHA, for example, what I play in, I'm sure it's very easy to get that pass where players can wear helmets, cameras on their helmets. But for NCAA, I'm sure it's way harder, and I don't even know where to start with football and MLB and all that.
So thanks again for your presentation. Your solution relies on another company's product. What happens if they're unsuccessful and they fail?
If they're unsuccessful and they fail, then I don't know. I feel like I would have to learn the hardware myself. I know at Temple here we have a lot of resources. There's a College of Engineering. Before I even found Orbi Prime, like I was planning on going to the engineering school with the helmet and figuring out how we can get spy cameras inside this helmet to make a 360 scene and stuff. So as for other companies, for other people to reach out to and ask if they can make it, that's something I could figure out for sure. But if I have to make it, I will do whatever I can to make it and make it work and find somebody who can help me. Yeah.
With the software itself, would there be like overlays, any kind of like tips to say, oh, that was missed, or this is an opportunity that you didn't see, or things like that?
Yeah, so much like film in the third person, like coaches usually watch film, which takes hours, of third person watching, and they would pick up on things, and then when the team gets together, the coach reviews them. I imagine this being coaches watching your video, and when they watch your video, they pick up on certain things and bookmark it in the time frame of your video, and then when you look at it, you see what your coach said, what you're doing wrong, and what you could do better. All right.
All right, thank you, James.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to be moving on, and before we do, I just want to, can you put up the slide with all the undergrads again? Thank you. All right, so again, this is our undergraduate track. I'm going to remind you on the next slide to vote for your favorite idea, but before you do, we still have 5 more ideas for you to listen to. All right, so you may have already figured out your favorite from this track. That's great, but I'd encourage you to wait and hear the next 5 because they're also awesome. Now, for the in-house audience and as well our live streaming audience, we are actually presenting in our upper track Temple students and alums who are presenting from all over the world tonight. So in order to make it fair, we decided that everyone in this track was going to have to present virtually. So they're all going to be presenting to you via Zoom. And they'll be doing their presentations as well as their 3-minute judging Q&A session on Zoom. We're hoping this is going to work. So our upper track finalists tonight, we have some really great teams. We have someone out in Italy. We have someone presenting from LA, from literally all over the world. So with that, we'll go ahead and get ready. Oh, all right. We're going to have the undergrad track come out so that they can watch as well. Come on out, folks. Right. Okay, we're going to kick off the first upper track presentation, and it'll be presented by June Howell, Fox, a Fox student right now, and she will be presenting Accessum LLC.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Arunsari Howell. I'm the founder of Accessum. For 46 million Americans in 1,800 hospitals in rural America, the risk of death is 184% higher than their urban counterparts. This is because access to specialists is 70% lower in rural areas because many hospitals can't recruit enough doctors or don't have the patient load to justify doing so. Without enough specialists, patients must travel to another hospital, resulting in lost revenues for rural hospitals, family distress, and poor patient outcomes. There are many telemedicine companies out there, but none of them is meeting this challenge. Many charge for telehealth platforms without doctors to see patients, and if they have doctors, they only do outpatient care. For a few that do inpatient, they charge substantial subscription fees, making it unaffordable to rural hospitals. They also don't credential their doctors with partner hospitals, so they need additional platforms and lock-ins, making the process inefficient and cumbersome to both patients and local doctors. This leaves an untapped market of hundreds of rural hospitals still needing inpatient specialist support, and this is where Accessum comes in. We provide inpatient telemedicine consult by connecting rural hospitals with independent top-notch specialists. We work with hospitals to identify needed specialists, focusing the scope on non-procedure care, like COVID management by pulmonologists. We then recruit the specialists from top-notch institutions. The doctors go through our credentialing process, which give them access to the telehealth platform already in use by rural hospitals, meaning no extra passwords and no platform cost for Accessum. We then work with billers to help doctors earn from insurance reimbursement, keeping a percentage as finder's fee. Our credentialing makes us the first mover to fully integrate into the existing platform, meaning no subscription fees because we don't have any platform cost of our own, and full integration means no extra passwords and no extra cost for patients. For patients, we provide the right care at the right time in the right place with immediate access to specialist care without displacement away from the patient support network. For hospitals, we provide a solution to rural staffing shortage at no cost. For doctors, we provide work-life balance, and most importantly, the sense of purpose that motivates us to do our best work. Accessum is a win-win for patients, hospitals, and doctors. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, June. We'll turn it over. Questions from our judges.
Hi, June. Nick here.
Hi.
How are you going to enable the data sent between like the hospital, so the rural hospital, to your platform? So will you integrate with, you know, the Epics and the other? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so most of the rural hospitals have their chosen electronic medical records. Mostly it's either going to be Epic or Cerner, which is cheaper than Epic. But for both of these, you can VPN from your house to the hospital. So the doctors can be anywhere, can be in another country.
Hi, June. This is Carl. With telemedicine, I'm not familiar with the details there, but is there a difference in insurance coverage or insurance reimbursements for inpatient versus outpatient care?
Inpatient consult is usually reimbursed at a higher level than outpatient care. And the thing with that is we're talking rural hospitals. And because of that, their inpatient telemed consult is reimbursed at the same high level as if I see a patient in person at a city hospital in Philadelphia. So the rate is very high and it's exactly the same.
Hi, June. Natasha here.
Hi.
Hi. So how would you incorporate like malpractice insurance and those type of like operational logistics into your, I guess, business plan?
Yeah, so the great thing about our credentialing is that our doctors are basically very similar to the hospital staff. So they get on the group malpractice insurance from the rural hospitals. So, you know, if we ask the doctors to buy the malpractice insurance by themselves, the cost is going to be really high. But if you get on the group malpractice insurance that the rural hospitals already have, it's a lot cheaper for everybody. Also, in terms of logistics, we plan to hire local staff in the hospitals, and this depends on, what unit it is and what kind of hospitals it is. Is it an ICU? Is it a regular floor? But those logistic liaisons are probably going to be arranged from like maybe an RN or maybe like a nurse or like a physician assistant or a nurse practitioner who understands the local workflow. And this is the point person for the inpatient, the telemed specialist. Let's say, I'm at home, I'm trying to do the consult. I don't know how to call the patient. I call my logistic liaison who's in the hospital on the floor and be like, can you go to the patient and bring the iPad to the patient? So that will streamline the process and helps, doctors, whoever they're from, to get integrated into the local workflow of the rural hospitals.
One more question, sorry. Do you envision this being more of like patient to physician consults or physician to physician consults?
In the inpatient setting, the consults are all initiated by the rural hospital physicians, most 90% of the time. I'm sure I'm sure people have been at the hospitals where, the family is requesting a specific consult from a specialist, but 90% of the time it's going to be, local hospitalists asking for help from a specialist.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much, June. So next up, we have from the upper track, Afia Mensa, and she's an alum from Fox. Afia? Afia, you need to turn your mic on.
Got it. Sorry about that, guys. Hi, my name is Afia Mensa, and today I am introducing Flair. Flair is an innovative footwear company that answers the question, why choose between functional and fabulous? So meet Beverly. Here she is celebrating her 27th birthday, and you're probably wondering why she looks miserable. Well, while she looks beautiful, she's been experiencing pain and discomfort throughout her party, and now she's sitting and missing out on important socialization opportunities. So you might be asking, how is she uncomfortable? That's because Beverly's currently wearing heels like this, while her foot is actually shaped like this. I myself, along with Beverly, fall into a demographic of roughly 13 million women in America between the ages of 18 to 40 who have flat feet. And for many flat-footed women like Beverly and myself, who are often under the care of a licensed podiatrist, we have a difficult time finding heels that fit trendy styles and fashion standards, while also meeting our orthopedic needs for comfort, foot support, and long-term foot health. Now, before her party, Beverly was options that would match her dress while accommodating her flat feet, and these were the search results. Now, while these are practical, they reminded her of her great-grandmother's church heels. So she said, okay, I'm gonna go with the uncomfortable arched pumps that fit more of her style. Now, if only she could find an option that accommodated both of her needs. The solution is Flair, a shoewear line focused on producing stylish heels that are structured to the specifications of a flat foot, while also designed with comfort in mind and mitigates the conditions that are often resulting from the improper support of flat feet, such as tendonitis, arthritis, joint, hip, back, and ankle pain. Now, there are 4 key elements needed to build a comfortable design for flat feet and will be incorporated into the design of Flair. 1, there's an arch, but not one nearly as sloped as the one you see here. 2, the midfoot circled in yellow and the back foot circled in red of the shoe are extremely supported and don't collapse easily and provide toe flexibility in the front. 3, there's a block heel that provides more support to the back of the foot. And 4, and most importantly, since most flat-footed individuals have custom-made orthotics from their podiatrist, the shoe would have a comfortable padded insole that would be removable so they can slip in their own orthotic. Now, in order to create Flair stylish structure, I partnered closely with an engineer as well as an experienced podiatrist. But the most important element is the comfortable sole. I would like to patent a custom insole or work with a reputable orthopedic company like OrthoFeet that has already done the legwork on this design shown to you right here. Now, what would success look like for Flair? Now, according to globalnewswire.com, the CAGR for the formal shoewear industry is 11.82%, which is very promising. And I would love for our target customer to automatically think of and search for Flair at our online store when they're in need of a formal shoe, and for podiatrists to think of us when they recommend a comfortable, supportive shoe for their patients. Our global impact. According to the Wall Street Journal and PubMed, ethnically, the Asian as well as African demographic make up the largest percent of flat-footed persons. And for that reason, I believe there's a great market in the United States as well as in Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean islands. And finally, when more established, in order to give back, I would like for Flair to sponsor a giveaway program, promising to give away a free pair of shoes to those in need globally for every shoe that is purchased. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Afia. Judges, questions?
Thank you for the presentation. It's Natasha here. I just wanted to know if you thought about what the cost would be to make these shoes, and then what would the potential estimated range be to sell them?
So in honestly, the cost to make these shoes, I kind of go back and forth a little bit, and I think it really depends on where you get it manufactured. If you were to manufacture it overseas, it would be significantly cheaper. The only issue with that is legalities and making sure that there's no sort of copyright infringements. But in terms of what the typical cost of, just going by what the industry standard is, the cost of shoes like this would be somewhere around the range of $110 to $130 per pair.
Hi, Liz. This is Carl here. Thanks for your presentation. The one thing that I was interested in was looking at your design of the shoe, is that with a heel that high, with the force of the weight going towards the front, have you discussed that with any podiatrists as far as weight distribution within the shoe and how that might affect someone with a flat foot versus someone that's got an arch?
Right. So, and I'm just gonna, well, I wish I could go backwards, but I'm not sure how to. But basically, to answer your question, so as I mentioned in the PowerPoint slide, so the most important thing that differentiates the design of a regular shoe versus this shoe is one, the shoe would not be as sloped. Podiatrists do recommend we have sloped shoes because eventually, once you keep wearing them, your feet kind of meant to create a little bit more of an arch, so that's important. However, with a lot of shoes, there's not a lot of support in the midpoint, whether because the shoe is too low and not high enough to support your full foot or just bendy. So it's very important that the midpoint of the shoe is very strong and high enough around the ends of the foot so it supports it, because that's where most of the pain is concentrated for flat-footed people. And then at the back, it can't be as high because we don't want a sloped shoe, but it does have to be a lot sturdier. So the heel would probably have to be shorter than it would be in a traditional shoe, and sturdier so that it supports the back of the foot, which avoids bending back and forth, which is what the primary cause of pain is for flat feet. So I hope that answers your question.
Thanks. Nick here. Question for you about your designs. Obviously, creating new shoes there's a lot of competition, especially in the women's market. I'm imagining like a Louboutin type brand, right? Has there been any companies out there, and this is my first question, has there been any companies out there that have attempted to approach this market in the flat-footed space?
There was a company out there, to be honest, I'm blanking of the name, Tom something, but I'm blanking on the name. It is a British footwear company out there, and they had gone out to China and discovered that there was the huge demographic of women out there that had flat feet. So they had designed a specific shoe that they had called the Asian design. And it was very unsuccessful when he had attempted it. And it's only because if you do look up the particular shoe, even though in his mind, he said he did it to accommodate that type of foot, it still was significantly arched. So it was very uncomfortable for those of us with flat feet. And when you look on the market, there really is not that many options, and you can search deep and wide. And I think it's challenging, and also people don't think that there's much of an opportunity maybe for sales if they go into that area. And it also does tamper with the aesthetic look, to be honest. So there really isn't that much competition out there. There really has not been that many attempts to kind of correct this, hole in the market of shoe wear.
Gotcha. Thank you. And that kind of leads into my next question quickly. Do you see the better opportunity for you is creating new shoes, like a new product line, or partnering with existing shoe brands to create a product line, or sorry, a flat-footed product within their product line?
So that's a good question, and I've gone back and forth about that a little bit. So in my mind, I guess I would like to concentrate more on creating my own shoewear line, and the only reason of that is I'm just thinking of like proprietary, working proprietarily with developed shoewear lines, like how much it would benefit me to work directly with them, because I think they'd have an upper hand. So I think it would be better for me to maybe just develop the line myself, and then maybe along the way, then maybe sell the company or collaborate in the future with more developed company, just to benefit myself in terms of like, proprietary, how much percentage I'd have in terms of like ownership and sales revenue and that type of thing.
Okay, thank you, Afia.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just want to remind everybody again, don't forget to vote for crowd favorite. And we're going to bring up our next presenter. Punrong Rainey is a Fox graduate student, and he'll be speaking to Into Bookverse.
Greeting churches, ladies and gentlemen. There's a friend of mine in medical school. He one day came to me and said, "Punrong, why medical textbooks are so expensive? I could not afford it." Well, you know what? He is not alone, because we have reached out to many people through survey, and 80% of them agree with him. Now, what if I tell you that we're gonna build a virtual center in the metaverse so that graduate and undergraduate students, especially those in medical field, can access to textbook with affordable price? Well, this is how Into Bookverse come to play, and it is simple. All you have to do is basically to subscribe, and then you connect with your VR headset, and finally you're in. With Into Bookverse, we provide you textbook with 3D illustration popping out from it. And most importantly, we have discussion spaces which are very dynamic and engaging. Ladies and gentlemen, with all textbook prices combined, you invest around $300, and that would save you thousands of US. And if you look for convenience, sustainability, and affordability, Into Bookverse uphold all this value. Unlike our competitors, our solution is preferred by many reasons. We are known for affordable access, we have 3D illustration, and we help students to learn better with our technology. There is a study from the National Library of Medicine prove that medical students, they study better with the help of VR technology in comparison with the traditional method. Now, for medical students, they are in a great need of foreign resources and experience, but to obtain them is very costly. And with the current e-learning system, it's not practical enough for medical students. But fortunately enough, with Metaverse, it appears to be the future potential of social interaction. And that gives us an opportunity to utilize VR and AR technology to implement Into Bookverse so that medical students from all around the world can access to foreign textbooks from distance. And they can also come together to exchange their knowledge and experiences in our discussion space. Now, we are aware about the potential unknowns and challenges. We know that copyright is the main problem. That is why we're going to work with relevant stakeholders to make sure that they are better off. Now, speaking of technology, we're going to partner with Scaniverse to build textbook 3D scanner and converter. And when it comes to downloading textbook, we are fully aware about the potential problem of textbook duplication. And for that reason, we're going to borrow a technology called encryption security technology that is currently used by Netflix to prevent such problem from occurring. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Into Bookverse. It's in your eyes to the book in the metaverse. Thank you.
Thank you, Punrong. All right, questions from the judges?
Hello, Nick here. You mentioned that the copyright issue is certainly like at the forefront of what you're trying to solve. Is that why you went with the VR space? Like because somebody couldn't copy something out of the VR like they would be able to, like a digital copy of a book?
Hi, sorry. I am the one who in charge of in answering the QA section. Would you mind repeating the question again?
Sure, sorry. So why did you end up choosing VR as the solution versus, just having a digital library of the books?
Yeah, so usually what we see from the medical students that we have to talk to, that they usually have been struggling to understand the spatial relationship between using the two-dimension image from the book or like from the digital book to study about human anatomy. So with the VR, with the metaverse and the VR, we have the 3D popping out from the textbook, which helps them to learn way faster than just reading from like a simple text.
Hi, Carl here. I'm aware of people that are developing the 3D viewing for the anatomy, especially in the medical industry. And I can see where it would be valuable to marry that with an online textbook, basically, is what we're talking about here. Have you thought about just partnering with one of those companies that's already doing that in order to, number one, save some time, number two, maybe get around some of the copyright issues with the illustrations?
Yes, so we did think about partnering with the medical center, who also helping us with developing the medical 3D model, and also some of the company who already in the process of developing this type of metaverse 3D model textbook. So we do think about partnering with them.
Thank you for the presentation, Natasha here. Just wanted to know if you thought that the cost would be a deterrent for students, because I know students are struggling, and that's kind of the point of your potential product. But do you think that the cost would still be a large amount for students?
Yeah, we did discuss about this, and it seems like we did discuss about this, and as we mentioned in the pitch, that with the VR, we did do some research on the VR set and how much it's gonna cost. Usually, it's gonna be around $300, and with that $300 and at the beginning of their first access, and then just a small amount of subscription fee, we added up is to the total of the amount that they have to pay for actual textbook for the whole years of medical school. We can see that it's still a little bit more benefit in terms of financial, and then also it's not only about the cost, but it also helps with their learning as well. So with the VR, with the metaverse into Bookverse, the time they have to sit down and read the textbook will be, instead of like having to sit 2 hours to read one chapter, learning through a visual into Bookverse will save them at least an hour, half of the time, to learn the same amount of content.
All right, thank you very much. Next up in the upper track is Yusuf Miman, and he'll be presenting Quay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yusuf Memon, and my idea is Quay. Before we get into Quay, I want to talk about a problem. If I was to buy a used car today, I have two options. I can go to a dealership and pay their markup, or I can save money, but waste a lot of time trying to buy from a private party. And the private party guys, they have a lot of problems, but I think they're addressable. They have to see multiple cars. They have to figure out what paperwork they need. They need to stop at a bank during business hours. If they buy the car, they have to get it home. And sellers are kind of subject to this, waiting for the buyer decision. And I really identify with this problem because these are all the cars I bought from a private party this year. Just kidding. These are just the BMWs. But as I said, the problems are all solvable. If I can offer a condition guarantee generate paperwork, transfer funds, and integrate shipping into an app that all parties can use, I have a solid winner. And that's kind of what we did. It's simpler, it's faster, and it's safer. Quay.com is the digital way to buy a car from a used party. You can use any platform in the US anywhere, and all you have to do is launch the app, follow the prompts, transfer the funds, and arrange the shipping. And when you're done, you just print and mail your documents to the DMV. When you stack us up against our competition, we're the only way you can get a great deal and on any platform with national use and even global use. And it's scalable with low overhead. Our target customers are used car buyers who are budget conscious, because these guys are going to skip the dealership every time. Our secondary market is people looking for collector cars or modified vehicles, because they're shopping on a national level due to availability. Our B2B play is small dealers looking to offer shipping and financing. That way they don't have to deal with the overhead or additional employees for this. As it sits right now, Quay is a completely digital DMV for Vermont car buyers. We have in-app goodies like theft check, total loss check, and a vehicle valuation tool. Today we have 19 users, one of which I added yesterday. And the way it works is it uses the phone camera to quickly record owner and vehicle information. And a typical transaction takes less than 5 minutes. And the best part, Quay doesn't require any integrations. Just open the app and you're good to go. Right now, we're in works to add e-notary to add the tri-state area, and we're adding the state of South Dakota. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Yosef. Judges, I'm sure you have some questions.
Hey there, Nick here. You listed eBay earlier in one of your things, but you didn't have them in a side-by-side. What would you say would be the big difference or your competitive advantage over, an eBay type competitor?
So we're not a marketplace. eBay functions as a marketplace, and I've actually sold vehicles on eBay. And when someone does win your vehicle, they say, hey, here's the buyer's information, work it out with them. So there's no real infrastructure, whereas we provide the infrastructure.
Hi, Yusuf. Carl here. Thanks for your presentation. You mentioned e-notary services. There's a lot of paperwork that's involved typically in exchanging a vehicle. The title transfer, all those kind of things. There's physical title, all those. How do you handle the requirements around that from the different states? Because I believe each state has slightly different, or can have slightly different rules. How would that be handled by Quay?
So as we add states, we also do the research as to what their requirements are. So when the buyer selects the state they're going to be registering the vehicle in, we automatically line up the paperwork that they need and ask the questions that are relevant. A lot of states, they don't require notary, so that would only be an option for example, the tri-state area. So it's all, and these notaries are also legal for vehicle transactions in almost every state save for 2. And I think one of them is Montana.
Hi, Natasha here. How do you intend on handling possible legal issues that could be associated or fraud issues that could be associated with buying and selling used cars?
So we have multiple ways to verify the ownership of a vehicle, and primarily that's through matching the VIN number with the National Motor Vehicle Title. It's National Motor Vehicle Titling and Registration Service. And what they do is that's where Carfax pulls their information from. So we're able to see that, yes, this person actually owns this vehicle. That, and we offer a payment escrow. So if there is issues beyond legal, like even if it's a condition issue, we can halt the transaction and even reverse the funds.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions, judges? No, okay. Thank you, Yusuf.
Thank you.
So last up in our upper track, we have Chelsea Spossett from CLA, and she's going to be presenting Placebo.
Imagine your wife, daughter, or sister getting sick with some virus going around. Her body never fully recovers. More than half of the doctors tell her it's all in your head, despite her symptoms worsening and her quality of life declining. The combination of not knowing what is wrong and the gaslighting she experiences causes additional frustration and stress. She grieves for the life she once had and fears she will never feel normal again. Every time she experiences one of these intense emotions, her symptoms worsen. After almost 6 years, she receives a diagnosis, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS for short. There is no cure. This story is typical among the 2.55 million women suffering from POTS, including me. Hi, I'm Chelsea Sposett, founder and chief wellness officer at Placebo, a wellness company dedicated to improving the quality of life of women suffering from POTS. Based on the placebo effects evidence that the mind can heal the body, we aim to reduce the frequency and severity of psychosomatic symptoms in POTS patients using emotional freedom technique or tapping. Well, my slide's not moving. There we go. Okay. In the US, 85% of POTS patients are women. 1 out of every 42 adult women will develop POTS. This population gives us a total addressable market of $1.27 billion. This number will continue to grow as long COVID is now being considered POTS. Many POTS patients believe there is a connection between their emotions and worsening symptoms. They share common frustrations with the diagnosis process, their practitioners, and their symptoms. There is currently no protocol on the market to address these pain points, and clearly, there is a need. Using preliminary market research, Placebo has created a 6-module online course offered at $500. The protocol uses tapping to acknowledge and release the emotions contributing to their psychosomatic symptoms. Tapping is clinically proven to significantly reduce stress and anxiety, offering rapid relief and lasting results. Placebo allows POTS patients to regain control of their quality of life. POTS is a global condition. 2% of the UK's population suffers from POTS, and 1 out of every 100 young women in Australia will develop POTS. Placebo is an online company that can quickly expand to this international market using content marketing. My name is Chelsea Sposett, founder and chief wellness officer for Placebo. My background is neuroscience and healthcare entrepreneurship, and I spent 10 years in medicine. Thank you for your time, and if someone you know suffers from POTS, please connect us to participate in our pilot program.
Okay, thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Hi, Chelsea. Carl here.
Hi.
Thanks for your presentation. I'm a little confused. When you talk about tapping, what exactly does that mean?
Tapping, or emotional freedom technique, EFT for short, is a self-acupressure technique that calms the nervous system by reprocessing emotions. So it actually, like in neuroscience terms, it calms your amygdala, it calms your fight or flight.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
So in addition to the therapy you just mentioned, like how will your company help get that information out there? Will you be having courses? Will it be an app? Like what's the solution?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is an online course. I will actually use content marketing to build trust and create accountability with people. And for those who don't know what content marketing is, so I will actually, before I even launch my program, I will have 3 to 6 months of YouTube videos, instructional videos that give examples, that give prompts, so that people can actually do the work, do the tapping themselves, start seeing results, start making progress, and this builds trust. And this holds them accountable. It shows them that they can, make changes into their life. And then I will go ahead and hit them with, the sales. And the other thing with content marketing is what you do is with these instructional videos is you link it to your blog to build traction, and that improves your Google rating. organically, and you also link it to social media. So it's basically free marketing. It just takes time and work.
Hi, Chelsea. Natasha here. Thank
Hi.
you for the presentation. And as somebody with POTS, I do appreciate this. I am big in the chronic illness and POTS advocacy space, so I appreciate your presentation.
Oh, excellent. Hello to fellow Potsy.
Given the, I guess, stigma around saying psychosomatic symptoms in the same breath as saying POTS, and
right,
because people are misdiagnosed or saying, you know, you're only anxious and you're only crazy, you're not having like a real medical condition. How do you think that would impact like your branding as like a psychosomatic symptom?
Yeah.
How do you think that affects your company?
Those are all very valid points, especially for people who don't understand and who aren't POTSIs. You know, all I have to say is psychosomatic symptoms get a bad rep. They are very, very real physical symptoms. Yeah. And part of my program, the beginning of the program, is actually to go through and tap on the fact that, like, you know, the doctor says it's all in my head. Psychosomatic symptoms means it's, you know, I'm just making this up. But if you actually look up research on psychosomatic symptoms, like, your emotions really do cause physical symptoms, and those physical symptoms need to be treated. And that is what is often overlooked in traditional medication, you know, not medication, but medicine. So I will address all of these pain points in my free content videos so that people can actually release that emotion and that trigger around this, so that they open themselves up to allow the healing to occur.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea.
No, thank you.
Okay, so that wraps up our upper track. You have one more slide to put up here? Yeah. Okay. So first off, I think both, or I should say both tracks, but all 10 teams deserve a big round of applause. Great job. I also want to remind you that you need to vote for crowd favorite. We'll have crowd favorite voting open for about 10 to 15 minutes, 10 minutes during the judges' deliberations. So I encourage you to please scan it, record your vote. Don't forget to leave comments and feedback for the teams. We will be passing that all on to the teams after the competition. And then also let us know how you liked tonight's event. Now, we're going to be asking the judges to move over to the deliberation room. And during that time, we have something set up especially for you. As we mentioned earlier, as Michelle mentioned, we have some Temple alum entrepreneurs themselves who are doing our food and beverage service this afternoon. And we're going to have them come in and give you quick updates on their companies. So to do that and to handle this part of the program while I'm off with the judges, I'd like to invite Olivia Stasio to come up. Olivia works with us here in the IEI, and she'll be taking care of this part of the program. So, Olivia?
Hello, everyone. One second. Okay, I just want to take a second to thank and introduce all of our vendors and one student entrepreneur. So our first vendor today is Mohammed Abdul Hadi from North Down Pizza. He's an alumni from the College of Liberal Arts in 2018. So Mohammed, if you want to come up and say something about your business. Down North Pizza. Sorry about that. Sorry, Mohammed.
Hello. All right, so thank everybody for having me. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the pizza that they were eating. My name is Mohammed Abdulhadi. I'm the founder owner of Down North Pizza, which is a mission-led for-profit pizzeria in the heart of North Philly, located at 2804 West Lehigh Avenue. And then our mission is where we exclusively hire formerly incarcerated individuals. I graduated from Temple from the CLA with a focus on criminal justice. And actually in 2018 is when I started to develop the concept my senior year in Temple. I had purchased the building sometime, maybe a couple years before. So building out the concept my last year at Temple, because that's honestly when I started to take my core courses and really started to take a deeper dive into the criminal, what I like to call it, the injustice system. So during my course study, it just made me realize that a business like this in this particular area was very, very necessary. So I opened the business in 2021, March 19th, 2021. It's been a huge hit within Philadelphia and within the whole entire United States. We've been featured on mostly any major food publication in the United States and receive a lot of prestigious awards for our mission, and not only our mission, but our food. It was my first pizza, it was my first restaurant actually in life. So it's like for me, it was, I went out on the limb, took a risk, used my own money to start this, and it's been good ever since. I actually enjoy the hospitality industry as a whole. So it's something I look to further. I look to expand the business outside of this Philadelphia, and also work with the community to help and empower the community that I serve, which is Strawberry Mansion. So yeah, for me, I love what I'm doing. I love being able to affect change in my little cohort of people that, I work with, and people that, have been following us and been supporting us throughout our journey. So I look to big things ahead for us, and glad you had me. Glad everybody enjoyed the pizza. And if you want to find us, we're located at 2804 West Lehigh Avenue, right here in Strawberry Mansion. And on Instagram, it's downnorth_pizza. Again, thank y'all for having me.
Thanks again, Mohammed. And I'll take this. Thank you very much. Again, that's Mohammed from Down North Pizza. Okay, and our next guest today is Avi Knotts of Avi IT. You can come on up here. Avi is a current student entrepreneur in the College of Science and Technology. Avi actually participated in last year's idea competition. And Avi, if you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Avi Knotts, founder and CEO of Avi IT. So I made some slides that cover what we've been doing recently for the past few months. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so our mission is establishing a foundation for computer science education among all backgrounds and experiences in order to mitigate the diversity gap in the computer science field and alleviate the digital divide. So we do this by traveling to provide free computer science courses, fixing up old devices and giving them to people in need, teaching courses in languages other than English, and providing job training, certification, and placement. So Temple has played a huge role in Avi IT. I have received funding from the LHBSF from last year's Innovative Idea Competition, and yeah. Next up, we have the mentorship. So like everyone that's a part of the IEI has been a huge mentor. I actually had Carrie Slade, who's here, help me with the incorporation and nonprofit process, like all the legal stuff. Still doesn't make sense, but it's done. And yeah, like Temple and the IEI, they've helped me come up with new goals, ways to track progress and like keep statistics, and just so many amazing connections and people. So thank you. Next slide. These are just a few pictures from the past few months. We started our second year of the Fun with STEM After School program, which is a program where we have kids ages 7 to 18 come in after school, and they do like more than just computer stuff. Like they're doing stuff like picking, what were those, tomatoes and that kind of thing. And then we also like launched a rocket, did a few other science projects. We spend a lot of time building robots, and That's a photo over there of us teaching game development at a school. Next slide. And here's some more photos. That there is the classroom that we decorated like a month or so ago. That's the virtual reality. We had a family game night, which was a huge success. That's another picture from the classes that we offer at different schools. And then in the bottom right, that is me teaching our virtual students who actually live in Kenya. And our next huge project is we're building a school in Nakuru, Kenya. It's in partnership with another nonprofit organization. And so that's the actual plan for the school in the 3D mock-up. And so that's going to start in February. And for that, we're going to be focusing on like the computer lab and the job training and certification for the students there. What's not pictured is the interns that I've like gained over the past few months. We have a website development team and a technology repair team. Both have been just amazing. And the last thing is we did some repairs for a school in Ghana. We fixed like 15 laptops or so this summer. And next slide. Okay, so this is how you can contact us. That's a social media website. That's an overview of what we offer. If you have old technology that is broken, please, we'll take it. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks again, Avi. Our next vendor is going to be Saif Manna of Manna Bakery. He's an alumni from the College of Liberal Arts from 2022. If you want to come on up here and say a few things about your business.
So hi, I'm Saif Manna. I'm the owner and founder of Manna Bakery. I graduated in 2022, so I'm fresh out of university. I'm still not as experienced as the other people that were invited here today. So essentially at my bakery, I try to create products by using ingredients and flavors from my culture, which I normally showcase as the Levantine region, which happens to be the region in the Eastern Mediterranean. If you had some of the desserts coming in, those were made by me. I currently operate online. So I started this business my junior year, and it's been, by next March, it's going to be close to 2 years since I started this business. And in January of 2023, so in a couple of months, I'll be opening a bakery cafe right near campus, actually. It's on Broad and Master, so right after Fresh Grocer. So we're going to have a cafe where you can buy products, coffee, sit down, do some work, study. So that's the goal. I mean, I started cooking and baking when I was 8 years old, so I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And I always wanted to do this eventually after I graduated, even though I was a major in political science and I did enjoy writing and research. This was a passion, and this was what I was going to do. I mean, as a student studying political science, I was able to, towards the end of probably my senior year, I started to network with individuals here in the Temple community that were able to help me grow the business and offer some advice. I'm not sure. I think there's Julie from Blackstone. There's Greg. I'm not sure where Greg is. I used to take meetings with them. Obviously, they would explain the business structure of things, something that I wasn't really aware of. I just wanted to do what I love and then try my best to have people try it and enjoy it. But it's been a very knowledgeable experience, and I continue to learn every day. If you'd like to follow, I have an Instagram page. That's primarily where I currently sell from online, and very soon in store. It's Manna Bakery 1324. I produce lots of food content there. It takes a lot of time and energy. I prefer just to bake and cook rather than do the food content. But yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it if you checked it out. And I hope you love the desserts you tried today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. And last but not least is Obel Hernandez. Him and his family own Bean2Bean Coffee Company here in Philadelphia. He is an alumni from 2015 from the School of Sports, Tourism, and Hospitality Management. So here you go, if you want to say a few things.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Hope you're enjoying the coffee. Cold brew, keep you caffeinated all night, keep you going. Yeah, I graduated, did a lot of time in this building over here, 2015. And Next year is going to be my family's 10th year in business. I went from a sports management degree to coffee, but I'm really happy about it. I love starting new businesses. That's what I did when I did work in sports. You can find our coffee all around the city at your favorite bagel shops, cafes, restaurants, maybe Manna soon. And we're in the Philadelphia airport. That's one of our biggest accounts who carries our cold brew. It's one of our best-selling items. Follow us on Instagram, Bean2Bean Coffee Co. And if you have any questions, I'll be sticking around for a little bit later. Thank you.
All right, and thank you again to all of our vendors. We appreciate your time and services, and we know everyone here today did. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for bearing with my technical difficulties. So I think the judges are still deliberating. Is that on? Thanks. Yeah, I have, of course I have some slides.
All right, yeah. So guys, while we're waiting for the judges to come back, because this is clearly a tough decision, we could tell you a little bit about other programs that we have going on, because there's some stuff coming up that you should all get involved in. So thank you to our partners. I'll list it up here. And do we have more slides on programs, Linz? Do we want to show them? I can just speak to it if not. Okay, amazing. So guys, we are in the middle of our Changemaker Challenge right now. We've just kicked it off, what, was that last week? I don't know, all the time's bleeding together, but we just kicked off our Changemaker Challenge, which is another competition we run, but there is a focus on social impact. So if you have ideas that would create social impact and change in the world, this is something that you should consider submitting to. The Changemaker Challenge is actually more than just a competition. So there are workshops running. We just had our first workshop this week, and then we have our next workshop in January. You have all the way up until February 1st to submit your idea to the Changemaker Challenge. So if you want to scan, you can go ahead and start submitting that. But again, you can also take advantage of workshops, and other pieces will have guest speakers and things like that. So Changemaker Challenge is what's happening next for us in terms of programs. We will, in the spring, have our freelancing series. All right, so aside from having a side hustle, the other thing we'll tell you guys about is our Be Your Own Boss Bowl, also the 25th year. So we have our idea competition that you just heard. The next piece is the Be Your Own Boss Bowl, where in addition to having an idea, you have a business plan for that idea. So you can submit to the Be Your Own Boss Bowl. That will be happening in the spring, dates to come, so stay tuned. It's typically in March and April. And that's a little bit of a bigger affair than the idea competition. So lots of things that you can consider getting involved in. And just like with the Changemaker Challenge, leading up to the Be Your Own Boss Bowl, there will be a series of speakers and workshops. You can participate in one workshop. You can participate in all of the workshops. You can not do any workshops and submit to the competition. You can do all of the workshops and not submit to the competition. This is really like a choose your own adventure, right? So you can really think about the ways you want to get involved and what makes the most sense for you and where you are in your schedule. And we have an undergraduate program. There is a major and a minor in innovation and entrepreneurship. But there's also a certificate. So if you are from another school and doing another major, you should really consider a certificate in innovation and entrepreneurship, because it's only 3 classes and one of them is a gen ed. What? So it's so easy to get. So you should definitely check that out. And if you're wrapping up your undergraduate degree, you should consider our master's in innovation, management, and entrepreneurship. So that is a program that goes a little bit deeper into what it takes to either be an entrepreneur or to be what we call an intrapreneur, which is working inside of a company. So when you're thinking about these academic programs, it doesn't mean you have to be somebody who wants to start your own business. It could be that you want to be responsible for innovating and problem solving within an existing business or organization. And that's intrapreneurship, and that's what my background is. The other way you can think about this is starting a nonprofit, which is also a business, but folks often don't think about that, right? So this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be starting a for-profit business. It can also be that you're doing nonprofit work. Any questions about that? So guys, we also have a group of mentors. So another amazing thing you can take advantage of is getting mentorship from our group of about 100 mentors, and they come from across different industries. So if you have an idea that you're kicking around, or if you have a business that you've already started, but you want to get some outside input and some mentorship, you can do that through our Startup Tree platform. So you can sign up for Startup Tree. It's super easy, create a profile, and then you'll be able to go in and see who those mentors are and create appointments with with them. So that's a really great opportunity to take advantage of. You get access to super smart people who are willing to work with students. It's a great way to build your network, to build your contacts. So check out our mentors in Startup Tree, which is an online platform where you can learn about events and entrepreneurship. Opportunity to learn about ESA. Tell us all about it.
Hello, everyone. My name's Aiden. I'm the president of the Entrepreneurial Student Association. Raise your hand if you've heard of ESA before. Okay, most of us. All right, well, good. I'm here to tell you about it. So ESA does weekly events here in the Accelerator every single Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. We bring in entrepreneurs from the Philadelphia community. We brought in Obel in the past, actually. We also do networking events and workshop events in here as well. Outside of that, we do study sessions. We also do external events. So we do trips to different businesses in Center City and around Philadelphia. So that's what ESA does. If you guys are at all interested in joining ESA, we have all these little forms posted around the Accelerator over there too, where you can scan our membership application and you can apply to join ESA. Thank you guys.
Everyone, my name is Carrie Slade, Professor Slade, and one of the other great things you can take advantage of if you need some professional experience is a class where you do an internship. So you actually do an internship with a startup or a small business that's pivoting. You can choose your own internship too, so if there's a company you're interested in, you can contact them, ask them about doing an internship. It's 10 weeks. 10 hours a week, so it's 100 hours in a semester, and you only have to go to class like every other week. So it's once every 2 weeks you go to class. Basically, we have a lot of companies for you to choose from in our database. We can do an internship, or as I said, you can find a company you like. It's 3 credits. I think it is a required class for the entrepreneurship major, but anybody can take the class from any school or college. And it's a great way to get experience. You could do graphic design. I have someone who's doing video production. Other people are looking at project management software and helping companies pick that. So this is a great opportunity for students. Maybe you've worked in a family business for a long time. You haven't really been in the corporate environment or in a business setting that's not a family setting. Maybe you worked in retail, maybe you work at a grocery store or something like that. So this is a great way to get experience in a more professional setting, which is the reason you're getting your college degree, but it's very low risk because you don't have to scrounge around for a job, you don't have to apply. We have companies that are willing and ready to take you. So I'm actually not going to be teaching it next semester, but it will be next semester. Again, every other week is when you come to class. And my good friend Heather Cotter is going to teach it. So she's a really awesome entrepreneur, and I highly recommend the class. So if anyone has any questions about that, feel free to let me know. And I see a couple of my students, well, some students have been in there before. I see Yuting back there. He's in the class now. He actually chose a Temple alum to contact about doing an internship at that company. So he was able to pick a company that he was interested in and do a project with them.
So again, thank you for your patience. Again, the judges had a really hard time deliberating. I mean, it was pretty close. Lots of great ideas that you heard today. We want to thank all of the participants again. Great job with your pitches. I'm going to start things off by first introducing Jeff Conradi and also Amy Kumpf. Both of them work at Cyber here, and we're thrilled to be partnering with them. And Jeff, if you'd like to come up to presenting the Global Innovation Award.
All right, thank you, Greg. It's great to be here. I was thinking back on it. I believe this is the 7th year we've offered the Global Innovation Prize. It goes back to me first attending this competition prior to that and looking at the opportunity that presents itself. So my name is Jeffrey Conradi. I work in the International Programs and Cyber office here. Cyber stands for Center for International Business, Education, and Research. We're funded by a grant from the U.S. Department of Education, so it's your tax dollars feeding into this program, which promotes international trade growth for exports, imports, et cetera. And so the innovation space is an important one to help build out international trade growth. And so we're happy to support this prize. You may remember, for those of you who made submissions this year, there was a series of questions that we asked about the global marketability and execution of how you would bring that prize to market. So the award goes to a combination of the written portion and then what was presented tonight and how it was addressed. And it was a difficult choice. There was only 4 from the upper track that had declared eligibility for the prize. And then, so to announce the winner, we chose Flair. So congratulations. I have their certificate here, although since it's virtual, we'll get a picture, I think, with the screen going later. But Oh, you want to do that now? Hey, can you see me? There we go.
Thank you so much. I am stunned and I had a lot of good competitors.
Congratulations. We were happy with the way that you addressed the global market potential, and then also in the Q&A, showing the research that you had done about other examples and how similar products have fared.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so appreciative. I had so many good competitors. Everyone had great global ideas, and I'm just glad that I won this award. So yes, thank you, and I accept.
You're welcome. Congratulations again.
This is, I think, our first time presenting an award virtually, so it went pretty well. All right, we're going to be doing this with second place winners for both tracks, and then we're going to move on to another special award for tonight, and then we'll move on to our first place winners. So the second place in the undergraduate track is career experience. Come on up.
Stand in the middle.
All right, very good. Thank you, Whitney. Thank you. And second place in the upper track is Flair. I guess I should get back over here then.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm excited, and I accept, and I'm just speechless. So, yeah. So thank you so much, and you know, I'm just so happy that you guys appreciated my idea, and you know, I accept, of course. Thanks.
We're glad you entered. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to introduce Aidan Lamb. Aidan is the president of the Entrepreneurial Student Association, and he'll be presenting the Digital Innovation Award on behalf of the Digital Innovation Foundry team here at Temple University.
All right, thank you, Greg. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here tonight representing ESA and announcing some of the winners. So the Digital Innovation Award is awarded to a project that has a unique digital solution that is both technically feasible to implement and it solves a real-world problem. This year's winner highlighted a real problem faced by the current world, and they came up with a very intriguing and excellent digital solution that is both technically feasible and when properly implemented can help many students. This year's winner of the award is Career Experience. All right, and I'm going to pass it back to Greg.
And Whitney is also a member of ESA. You forgot to mention that. All right, so we'll move on to our first place winners. First place winner in the undergrad track is VR Coach. You're good. Thanks, James. And first place in the upper track this year is Quay.
Oh my God, I'm at the LA Auto Show right now. Perfect place to win something like this. Thank you, guys.
Live from LA. Congratulations, Yusuf.
Thank you, Greg. And thank you, judges.
All right. We now have, I'm going to ask Aidan to come back again. Where are you, Aidan? And we'll be awarding or announcing the crowd favorite.
All right, so for the crowd favorite, which all of you just voted on, thank you for voting, we have VR Coach. All right, thank you. Back to Greg.
All right, so for our grand prize this year, the 25th annual Innovative Idea Competition goes to June Howell with Accessum LLC.
Thank you so much. I didn't think I was going to win. Such a surprise. Thank you. And thank you everyone at the II who's kind of helped me got to this spot. Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations, June.
Thank you.
So that's it for our award presentations. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle again, and she'll wrap up with some closing remarks. Thank you.
Like you guys haven't seen enough of me, huh? So guys, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you to everybody who presented. Congratulations to all of those who placed, but congratulations really to everybody, because it's really hard to not only enter an idea, but to get up and pitch. So we want to acknowledge that. Thank you to the judges and our presenters who had a really hard time tonight coming up with a winner, because they were all really, really good. And most of all, a huge thanks to our IEI team, so Lindsay Clark and all of the folks who work with her and Greg, because they make this happen all the time. And it is a tremendous amount of work to pull off events like this, you guys. So thank you guys so, so much. Crushed it, especially with the combo Zoom in person. What? We are like wild now, hybrid, love that. So guys, thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you at our next events. We will again have the Changemaker Challenge coming up, so look out for more information on that on the website. And if you have any questions, grab one of us before you leave tonight. Did I miss anything? All right, thank you guys so much. Good night.